Hey, it's Benji Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio, welcoming you to another edition of People of Distinction. The talk that gives an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, peopleofdistinction.org for more info, or you can email me directly at benji@alcoleenterprises.com. And on the line with us today, we have Regiena Stein. We'll be discussing her book, Marama, available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or if you guys want to get everything that Regiena has to offer, do yourself a favor. Go directly to her personal website, angellightwork.com. There, not only will you be able to find information on the book, you'll be able to purchase it directly through the site, as well as finding information on Regiena herself. And Regiena was brought to People of Distinction today by some of the best movers in the business. Book Trail Agency Publishing. If you have a book that you'd like moved, well, move it through Book Trail. You can find them at booktrailagency.com. And guys, I am so excited to have Regiena here on the line because the book we're going to be discussing, Marama, is such an amazing book with an even better message, okay? And really, the reason why it's such a great book, perfect for the current climate that we're going through, right? Given this pandemic, given a lot of the social unrest that we're all experiencing, guys, it's all about self-healing. It's all about self-awareness, and really a book that's going to offer clarity and help you find happiness. Because listen, at the end of the day, we all know is living in a technologically advanced world that we're all in right now, and so many of us finding our self-worth through likes and feedback that we receive online and really from other people. This book is really going to hone it back in. And Regina's here to really clarify that message for us. Again, happiness can only be achieved from within. Okay, you're not going to find it based upon a number of likes that you can receive or based upon other people's perception of you. Once you start to find that happiness within yourself, the outside world starts to formulate that perception based upon your initial perception. And I think that in and of itself is such a profound message, and what a great book to have on our table today. And listen, Regiena is the expert on the matter, so without further ado, let's bring her here on the line with us. Regiena, first and foremost, thank you so much for being a guest with us today on People of Distinction. How are you?
Hello, Benji. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, listen, thank you for being with us. I mean, we are absolutely, again, very, very much looking forward to this. Now, before we jump into the book itself, let's hold off slightly. Let's build that temptation just a little bit more, okay? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Regiena, and I'm Australian-German Maori. I was born an Australian, and with a young age of 7, we moved over to Germany. My father was a German and lived there actually all my life. And I moved back to New Zealand about 9 years ago, so it's turning 10 years, because I decided to, I missed the beach too much, and I wanted to just go back home. From leaving Australia and going to a different culture, different mentality, it was hard leaving nature and everything that I love, the beach, the animals, my surroundings, and then going into a totally town. So that was a different lifestyle, a different surrounding, everything strange, the language you did not know, you had to pick it up and learn it, and everything totally changed, and not in a nice way. It was not a really nice growing up. It was really hard, very tough, and getting used to all this. And still I was like connected to Australian, learning German, and still got the roots of New Zealand. My mother's a Maori. So, and all this, trying to understand what is happening with you. And I think the worst part, or the interesting part, as a child, maybe the worst part, growing up, an interesting part, is all these conflicts and feelings that awaken in a core within the body. you do not know how to deal with it, and your situation and surroundings do not support in any way trying to understand you or helping you in to understand what is going on with you, within you. So the feelings, the language, you're dealing not only with your surroundings and the people and the new environment, you're dealing also with all your feelings and memories that are awakening inside of you. So you don't know what to do with it because you have never had faced or come across to face them. So, and you start to struggle. So you struggle and you get upset. And it was really hard because it started to be, the environment was not any happy anymore, it was angry. And you didn't have anyone to talk to, even though you had people there getting to know your grandparents and the language people. Then the environment parents are not home, and when they're home, they're angry. So you're feeling like everybody's shooting at you with their words, and you don't understand what you have done wrong. So it was more the emotional world that I had to dive into, where it turned into be a learning stage to understand how these words or actions reflect outside and how they occur within me and how they affect my actions, my reactions, and what I receive on the physical plane. So to that time, I didn't understand very much. But when I was growing up, dealing with all these things, I realized that I see it in a different perspective than everyone else. Everyone is seeing it, what's happening on the physical plane and what they're dealing with, what they see. And I realized that I was also conflicted and struggling with what was going within me, plus what I was seeing on the physical plane. And a lot of things did not match, were not resonating. And they were not resonating with me, but I was feeling like forced to do things what other people were asking me to do or commanding me to do, because I did not want to do that, what they wanted me to do. So a whole different world awakened up within me. So where I really had no human being trying to help me. So, and then I realized that there is an energy around me that is giving me this feeling of calmness and support and love. It was not that you were physically able to touch it, but you were knowing that something's there protecting you. You had this feeling of protection, and of the physical plane, you could have seen that nobody actually could really harm you. So, and you could move in that little space that you had between the boundaries that were set and between your truth, that your steps that you needed to take. Still, you know, you got steps that people want you to do as child, and steps that you need to take responsibility even as a child. So, and I got more comfortable to this energy. And for me, it was really interesting to come across this energy, because with that, a lot of things opened up. I opened up to the spiritual world. So a field that was not discussed in my growing up. And I couldn't have any information. So I was very young. So I had no books about it, had no one to talk about it, but they were still there. So also spirits were coming into my world. So past lives. So that was really scary too, because they were, to that time, I didn't know that they were trying to contact me, because they knew that I can hear them and see them, feel them. But they had different ways how they tried to communicate with me or try to pick up a conversation, and they entered my body. So that turned out really creepy. So because you were really afraid and you didn't know what to do with it. The universe, again, gave me information through television. So, and they had all these movies going on. So which I was watching the movie and having this feeling, hang on, one part it's a movie, but I had the source giving me information about what I was actually experiencing on the physical plane and in the body, and what I was seeing, what some parts of the movies were actually resonating with that experience that I had. So it's like, don't believe everything, but here I'll pick up those ones that resonate with your experience that you have, and we'll go deeper into this. So this is where my school actually started on the spiritual path. And it turned out to be all about this. In my life is about spirituality. It's about talking with the divine, with the source, human beings call them angels or fairies or dragons or higher masters and goddesses. So to a childhood, I didn't know any of those names. It just came along as I was growing up, that human beings have given them names throughout the centuries. And I said, oh yeah, okay, we can try to work with that. So, but for me, there are energies with different kinds of frequencies, which connect with you in a different way. So every human being will react differently to the similar or same energy fields, because you've got a different story. Everybody lives a different story from the moment it's born to the moment till today, with everything it experiences, feelings, emotions, sceneries, people, anything that it picks up and saves, books that they read, movies that they see. So, and it's like living in two different kinds of worlds. You seem to be very weird on the physical plane, because you're living actually in two sides. You're seeing the world and the people, but you're actually seeing beyond them and seeing their energy field. You learn how to see the energies within them and what they are surrounded with. So, and also these spirits coming in, and I was really, really afraid of them, because I always thought they're going to hurt me, but I'm still alive. They didn't hurt me. And but I needed to face my fear. I needed to learn a lot about the spiritual time, and my growing up, moving from my safe environment, the environment that I knew, to something totally different, was also abuse and sexual abuse, and coming across all things, and moving out in a young age. So, but still having this energetic or spiritual world within you that is guiding you and moving you towards yourself, learning, teaching you how to understand the environment within you and what is actually causing your experience on the physical plane. And it does take a lot of time about yourself, researching yourself, and learning not to judge yourself or judging others. Seeing there is a reason behind the reaction and the words that they say and why you react. So it's on both sides. It's not only you reacting, the other side reacts too. So, and it's where does it come from? And it turns out that you have that energy within you and you're pulling it towards you, but you need to understand it first. We don't understand it because we don't get taught that way. Not that the teaching that we receive is wrong. There's no wrong, there's no right. It is a choice and examples that we get taught from our environment. And they show us what we can do in certain situations, and how we can use them or turn them to our favor, or to something that we can grow on. So either way, so there is no bad, there's no good, there's no wrong decision or right decision. It is a decision that you choose to experience either way. So if you're more interested to experience low vibration, well, that's fine. If you're more interested to have a high vibration, so that's fine too. It's really what you're looking for. And I think my world is based on energies and based on my surroundings and how they affect me and how I can transform my life as I go along to something better, and also help others grow to something better in their favor without commanding or without telling them. It's just by me living my truth. And when I do so, everything else changes around, and for their highest good, not only for my highest good, for their highest good as well. So that is something really interesting, that you can use this tool for yourself, and you also can teach others to do it for themselves, because you've got a life that you have created from the moment on, every thought that you think and every handling that you do, and we do get that back. It returns, and we judge it. We let ourselves be heard. But it's not about universe hurting anyone. It's just us pulling the outcome And it's already set through the decision that we decide in the environment or energy field that we have decided in. So if I'm in an angry state and I decide in an angry state to do my steps, so my outcome is going to be angry. No matter how positive I'm going to think it, it's the feeling that you are having at that moment is that outcome that you're going to be receiving. And we're so not aware of that. We're so not looking there. And we can't judge. It's just we have not been taught to look differently and take a deep breath in, step back first, leave the room for a moment, and just come back to it later when you calm down. So when do we do that? So, but there are ways how we can do it even in the moment. And it's so fantastic when you get to understand how the universe works and you can use it for yourself to transform your life to something better. So it's not like, oh, yes, you're going to have a big wish and all your problems are going to be solved. No, it's not that way. So it's step by step, transforming it to something better that comes along. And with time, everything lightens up and gets lighter and easier. It doesn't say that we don't come across up and downs, we will, but we're going to be more confidence in choosing what we want to experience. So, yeah.
You know, Regiena, thank you so much for that. What an amazing message. You know, and one thing that I really took from that is, you know, you said it was something, I don't know the exact words, but it was something akin to and along the lines of, really, at the end of the day, it comes down to decisions, right? And it's not the universe being bad or the universe being negative or anything. At the end of the day, it's all about your decisions in which you make. And what I love about that is what it does is it just puts the control in your hands, right? And the outcome of whatever happens. And of course, as you said, it's not going to be easy. And it's not like, you know, you do it once and all of a sudden everything from there on out is great and it's fantastic. It's going to take work. It takes a lot of dedication. But at the end of the day, it is within our control and we can do it. And I think that in and of itself is so beautiful and such a profound message. Now, talk to me, because for me personally, I'm very curious. Marama, tell me about that title. I mean, I'm assuming it has some type of reference or some significance to this self-help narrative that you've created. Talk to us about that title, please.
Yeah, Marama. So that's really, you know, when you start creating a book, in my situation, I really didn't want to write a book at all. So it was not something that I wanted to do. But Gabriel made me do it. And Marama is a name that I had from a cousin, because her second name was Marama. And I asked her, what does it mean? And she says, beautiful. And I said, oh, well, that's perfect. So when I was sitting there and called to sit down and write, so it was a big argument with Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel and me. So when I said, okay, cool, you bring up a name. And she said Marama, and Marama was for her beautiful. So I do believe that the Maoris will have different words for it, but the one that I have from my cousin, who that name was, is Marama, and she was saying it's beautiful. And I thought, well, Marama, beautiful. And it's about beautifulness, because when you unfold yourself, you are beautiful. When you live yourself, you're beautiful. So there's nothing need to be perfect than being your own self and living your own truth. So I that's just beautiful.
I mean, listen, that explanation that you just gave, Regiena, was beautiful. Okay. I mean, what a great message. And absolutely, listen, guys, it sounds like such a cliche, right? But guys, it is so true. Listen, we each are so beautiful in our own right, and we have so much beauty to share on this world. And that's something, again, that we love discussing here with our human family here at People of Distinction. I mean, that is our message, right? We're talking about coming together, our human family, and really what makes each and every one of us unique. And there are so many people of distinction. And Regiena, you are definitely one of them. Listen, this is not a mistake that you came across our table and that you were a guest here on our show, right? I think a lot of times, especially within our current climate, right? Within the 21st century, everything is, as I stated, it's all about technology now, right? And the focus is always given to the celebrities and the people that are in those positions to be watched. And there's just a natural assumption that because these people are on TV, they're the beautiful ones. They're the ones that have things to offer. And then what it does is it creates this divide from everybody else. And you start to feel, I am not as valuable or I'm not as worthy because I don't have that clout. I don't have that fame. And at the end of the day, guys, that is just not true. Okay. Each and every one of us have so much beauty, have so much to offer. And at the end of the day, it's not for others to acknowledge and see that. Eventually they will. Believe me, they will. But it starts with us, and you have to believe it yourself. So what a perfect name for such an amazing narrative. Now, listen, as we're closing up this fantastic interview, last question that I really would love to ask, Regiena, is, this is a self-help narrative, okay? And it's really about, as I stated, and as you stated, it's about really creating that self-worth and having that self-awareness. And all of that is so amazing in its own right. I'd love to know, as you take us out of this interview, any tips that you can offer our listening audience to help. Now, of course, listen, guys, you know what you need to do. Okay, the only way to get all of the tips is, you got to go to Amazon, you got to go to Barnes & Noble, you have to go to her personal website, angellightwork.com, purchase your copy of her book, Marama, yourself, and then you can get all of the tips, of course. But since we're here on the line, we have you here with us, any tips that you can offer us, Regiena, just to kind of set us off and give us a little bit of a teaser?
Oh, yeah, there's a nice one that I'm doing with my students. So it's about using the meditation in your daily life. So really catching those low vibrations. And when I talk about low vibrations, it's about really words that are keeping you low, like anger or hate or disappointment or sadness. And we only see the surroundings, the people, the scenery who caused it, but we're actually not focusing on that vibration that is coming up between you and that person or that situation. So we're learning to focus on that. Okay, say anger is coming up and the scenery is giving you this anger. So don't look to the scenery, just pick up that word, anger, write it down and ask yourself, where does it come from? What is making you really angry? What doesn't necessarily need to happen that you get angry? So, and then write it all down, write everything down, and you will see that your focus is going to be drifted away from the people or the scenery. It's going to go back really where anger was really created. It goes really far back. Where did this anger come? And what is anger? How many words are put into anger? So it's not like you're going to get angry. Angry comes from somewhere. So if somebody upsets you, you're going to be upset, but you're not going to get angry. So it takes a long path to make you angry. So, and how many words are between you and that anger? So how many steps needed to happen to make you really create anger inside of you? So when you follow that path back, you'll really find out where it comes from, and it's got nothing to do with the people around you, the scenery, the situation. It's really something totally different. And it mostly goes back to childhood, from my experience. So that's something really good to do. And you can do that with every word that comes. So every vibration that is annoying or angry or sad, everything that is low for you, that gives you not a happy smile, that really puts you down. So write it down, trigger them, make a list of it, and track them back. So, and you will notice when you watch yourself how it changes, and you only can find the difference between how did I feel before I started and how do I feel afterwards. And between them, this is where you find your answer, and you can feel and watch the body, how it resonates to it and how it calms down and how everything suddenly becomes clearer and clearer. And then you will notice that your anger has transformed to something better.
Regiena, this is so insightful. And really, you know, what an amazing message to close off this interview. Guys, what more can be said? Honestly, given this current climate that we're going through, and really let's just take the pandemic, for instance. Guys, we're facing a lot of adversity. We're facing a lot of challenges. We're facing a lot of uncertainty. Through this book, Marama will be able to, regardless of the outside sources, because of course we can't control any of that. What we can control is ourselves, and what we can control is our perception and how we take in those outside sources. And pick up this book, guys, because once you start to place these tips into practice, and as she said, as I said, guys, it's not going to happen overnight. Okay, this is going to take constant dedication. It's going to take constant practice. But like anything else, you know, anything worth having is not going to be easy, right? It's going to be a little bit of a journey. It's going to be some time that you're going to have to put in. But once you do, just watch your life flourish. I mean, what an amazing book. One last time, here on the line with Regiena Stein. We just finished discussing her book, Marama, available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or at her personal website, angellightwork.com. Regiena, this has been absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for being a guest with us today on People of Distinction. It absolutely was a pleasure.
I loved it. That was really cool. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed being with you. Thank you.